what I realized is I never unpack that stuff, because for me it's a bit unlike unpacking brushing your teeth or whatever.
Yeah.
But actually the mechanism of it is it's fascinating if you consider it's for someone from the outside trying to understand it. And the one thing, the one aspect of that is that when you, all the time, I've got almost like obsessively, there's a little part of my brain that is always thinking how to use stuff. It's like being a magpie, always looking for a little glittery thing. The simplest things, man. A person sitting in a coffee shop window. Like, what is the coolest thing you could do with that? Always like challenging myself with that stuff. And often it takes months to get the cool idea. But the creative aspect of where the creativity comes in is that you asking that question in the first place. Is that you're seeing the person in the coffee shop window as some potential thing, as a potential artwork.
I've described that to people before as paying attention to detail.
But you know what part of that is, I think, is it's a different way of and in some instances a non-hierarchification of reality. Because what you normally do is you've got hierarchies. This is interesting all the way through to that's not interesting. But this way of seeing, you just everything is potentially interesting. Everything.
Would you go so far as to describe that as part of your process?
Yeah, exactly. It's deeper. It is a way of being, which makes it again harder to unpack. I mean, that's right. Why this is enjoyable from my perspective, is to try and get the words that match the subconscious process until you try and unpack it.
What were you aware of first? The desire to create things, draw, paint, write, or the fact that you were doing it?
You know what the thing is, for me, when I was young, it's quite radical. I've never really been able to express it properly without sounding like extremely flaky. But basically, when I was young, I seriously felt like I had some kind of amazing glimpse. And it could just be like Cop, when it was so small and unspoiled. Like reality had this flippin' radical, like a glow to it, actually. And things were profound. Everything was profound. I had a great childhood. The only thing, the imagination might have started when I spent, when at 18 months I had a serious hip operation. So I spent at least 6 months, I think, after that in plaster up to here. So I was completely, I was stuck in plaster. So I like to pretend or believe, or choose to believe playfully, that was like the start of imagination, because you know what I mean. But anyway, to answer the original question, it was like, it's more this like incredibly urgent feeling. It's like being a pipe in a dam wall, and that you just know there's this whole dam of amazingness that can come through you specifically in this instance. And so it's a sense of responsibility. Like the stuff has to, a friend of mine refers to it as like smuggling stuff into this reality. It's like you're at a crack and you've got this brief time to like smuggle stuff through that wouldn't normally be here, and then the crack closes, and that's feels like